Hi, everyone. It's great to see you on our regular webcast. If we haven't met yet, my name is Natalia and I'm the CEO of Robocash Group, the parent company of investment platform Robocash. Today, I want to dedicate the main part of the meeting to your questions about the group and the platform. I will also share the key results for the first half of the year and the nearest plans. Please don't hesitate to write your questions in the chat window. I will do my best to answer them at the end of the webcast. As usual, we will publish the presentation along with all the questions and answers on the website, as well as recording of the broadcast. I'd also like to ask you to switch off your microphones and cameras, please. Thank you. Let's start. A few comments about how the platform feels in 2023. In February, we decided to decrease rates and lower the volumes of loans. Of course, this has affected both investors' portfolios and the platform's performance. In particular, the growth of the client base has slowed. Meanwhile, investor earnings exceeded the figures for the first half of 2022 by almost 2 times. The platform's portfolio is also gaining volumes. We continue to work on improving the platform functionality and also try not to miss interesting P2P events. We have received feedback from you about the slow loading of the website and have optimized the speed. We have introduced a new income feature, namely the option to transfer money from one portfolio to another. We are also looking into other strategies that you have suggested. If you haven't subscribed to our YouTube channel yet, it's time to do it now because you'll find a lot of useful videos there. This year, we launched a series of tutorial videos where we answer frequent questions about the platform. And finally, speaking of events, we attended one of the major P2P activities, FinFELIS conference in Riga, and it was a pleasure to meet our investors and representatives from other platforms in person. As of our plans, we will continue to carry out one of our important functions, which is to keep the business model efficient. This implies that we will be returning to the issue of supply volumes based on the needs of the group. We are also working on changing the frequently asked questions section on the website. We plan to make it more convenient and add more questions there. And soon we will integrate a new line of loans on the platform, which is obviously good news. These will be point of sales loans, which are small credits that can be taken out to buy goods right in the shop. We will tell you more about this integration in the nearest future. Let's move on the group's results for the first half of the year. In the beginning of this year, we have shifted the focus towards maintaining the quality of the loan portfolio and customer retention, which reflected in the slight decrease of the new client registrations, but resulted in improved operating performance. The net profit increased by 67% in Q2 compared to the previous quarter. Meanwhile, the revenue of the group rose by 20.5% and loan disbursement grew by 21.9% during the same period. In July, we expanded one of the group services, a buy now pay later solution, Robocash in the Philippines. The service is now offering point of sales loans to customers, which are accessible online and in-store partner merchants. Among other achievements, the group exceeded the plan for the total amount of loans issued by 32%. Sri Lanka's net profit plan is surpassed by 12%, and Zymer Kazakhstan exceeds its net profit by 41%. I'd also like to say a few words about the plans. We are currently highly focused on developing our new products in Mexico and Uzbekistan. With a large underbanked population and high mobile penetration in these regions, the group's management sees big potential there. Also, we continue developing the idea of the global financial ecosystem UNA, starting from the Philippines and then scaling to other locations. And lastly, the group is undergoing a big transformation now, and we plan to announce these changes in the near future. These are positive changes that will have no impact on the platform's operations or its investors. You can continue to rely on the platform's stability and count on your investments with us. And we will be happy to share more detailed information very soon. Stay tuned and wait for updates. And let's go to the most important part of our meeting, your questions. First question. Overall, how are the main operating KPIs going in terms of non-performing loans, etc., of the Robocash group ex-Russia? I think the metrics we're talking about here are primarily risk-related, as we operate in an alternative lending industry and it has its own specifics. To assess the quality of borrowers, we constantly monitor the proportion of overdue loans. At the group level, the average share of overdue loans throughout the first half of this year was 12%. This is first payment default 30 plus, which is acceptable for the market we operate in. We measure the default rate using 90 days past due. Now we generally maintain it around 13%, actually slightly improving to the KPIs of the previous year. We also monitor the share of returned funds in the total open portfolio volume, and the average recovery rate is now 15.3%, which is also within the model of the operated business. How many countries are funded by the RC Riga Singapore, and what are the best performing countries? The Singapore loan originator is raising funds for business development in general, more Southeast Asian countries, as well as new product launches. Among the operating countries, the Philippines has a fairly solid performance in 2023, but the best performer is Kazakhstan. Is there any plan on moving to other regions as well? The group is currently preparing the launch of products in Mexico and Uzbekistan, and we hope to be able to share the first updates soon. And of course, we plan to expand in the markets where we're already present. In April, the group launched a new online lending platform, Credit Bar, in Kazakhstan. In July, we launched point-of-sale services in the Philippines and are looking for further to expand our product line there. There were plans to get a step in Africa and Latin America. Where do we stand now? As I mentioned, at the moment, we have finished analyzing the market, done all the necessary preliminary work, including legal setup, and are nearly ready to launch in Latin America. We hope to launch payday loan there in the nearest 1 or 2 months. With Uzbekistan, we target the fourth quarter of this year or earlier 2024. Our plans for Africa remain on track, but here we're talking more about mid-2024 than this year. It seems the business in the Philippines is growing with additional loans launched on the platform. How is the Robocash group going in that country in terms of the main KPIs? Since the beginning of the year, the Philippines has exceeded the net profit target by improving the economic performance of the portfolio. In terms of default risks, we maintain the project's first payment default 30 plus at 14%, which is quite acceptable. The recovery rate is about 18%, which is great. And the current indicators are within the average values and the best values we had during 2023 and 2022. In 2020, the possibility of an IPO was discussed and then nothing. Is that still something considered? Yes. The group is currently evaluating various investment opportunities, including the possibility of an IPO on their various stock exchanges, because there are certain requirements from each stock exchange. Before making any decisions, there are internal preparations that need to be completed, quite huge. It's worth noting that the group's reserves are sufficient at this time to support development without pursuing an IPO, but we're still preparing ourselves just to be ready when the market will be ready for that, because as you know, in Western Europe, in the United States, stock exchanges, they're experiencing and the economic is experiencing the problems. So we are waiting for the right moment to do that. I heard that you have launched another company in Kazakhstan, the Credit Bar. Is this a new originator? Yes, this is recently launched lending service in Kazakhstan. The group has a strong presence in the country with an average 30% market share. With the launch of Credit Bar, an online consumer lending service, the share expected to surge even further and attract more customers. The company has enough capital to develop on its own, so we don't plan to integrate it on the platform in the nearest future. What funding sources other than P2P platform does the group have? Apart from the funds borrowed from Robocash, the group mostly uses its own liquidity to fund its business. It also places bonds on Singaporean platform Kalde. What is your outlook for Robocash investors in 2024? The holding company has big plans, and we hope that as we realize them, the platform will also grow and reach new milestones. Next year, we expect to continue to work on improving the platform functionality, expand investment opportunities for investors, both in terms of products and strategies, and finalize the redesign of the website, which we started. In short, there is still a lot to do. Are you planning to add an option for regular interest payments to a bank account? We are considering regular interest payments as well as the other income strategies. Given the current supply situation, we have postponed the introduction of new strategies for the time being. Also, we have various technical tasks on our agenda, and we are prioritizing them for now. We will come back to the question of developing a new income feature in the fourth quarter. Any plans for manual investing? One of the core principles is to provide investors with a simple and easy income tool. More and more investors prefer fully automated solutions for portfolio management, and we would like to move further in this direction, expanding investment opportunities with the help of artificial intelligence. Therefore, we have no plans to add manual investing to the platform. Do you anticipate an uptick in loan availability for the fourth quarter of 2023? With the launch and development of new projects, we can expect an increase in supply in the fourth quarter, definitely. Not significant one yet at the beginning, but growing in the future. And as these projects will strengthen and grow, I think in the beginning of 2024, the volume will also increase. What are the future plans on increasing interest rates? There are no such plans yet. At the moment, the average rate on the platform is 10.1%, while according to recent studies, the European P2P market offers an average of 10.4% for all types of loans. High interest rates are not always a good thing. We try to stick to average market rates while maintaining a balance between income and risk for investors. Very often, the money returned to the account is not reinvested immediately, even though the automatic reinvestment request has been made. Would you remedy this problem? First, thank you for your feedback. The platform runs an automatic investment algorithm. It is triggered as soon as new loans appear and starts the distribution of credits. We do not prioritize the purchase of loans, and therefore there are cases when money is not invested immediately, despite the availability of loans. That way, they can be invested the next time the algorithm is run. It's also important to make sure that the loans available fit your portfolio settings. If you have been experiencing an issue with reinvesting money for a long time, you can contact our support team to have them check your settings. Why did you downgrade the loyalty program? We've had a few questions about the loyalty program. I would like to point out that the decision was not easy for us, for sure. And working within the same holding is both our advantage and a certain barrier. You know that the platform raises funds for business development, and the high cost of raising funds may become uneconomical for the group's creditors. So they will need to explore alternative ways to attract money. By cutting the loyalty program, we can reduce the cost of acquisition, which is the most effective way to optimize expenses at the current moment without impacting all of our users. Any plans for a better loyalty program? The latest changes to the program went into effect recently. We will monitor how the program is working and then decide whether to extend it as it is now or to revise the conditions. Could you explain more transparently why you list a certain volume of loans or not? Yes, of course. We set an average loan volume for each month based on the number of closed loans for the previous month and demand dynamics. For the most part, the creditors regulate the supply volume. Depending on how their plans are performing, they may increase or decrease the number of new loans. When we will see more volume on Robocash? As soon as we are ready to launch new products, we will increase the volume. As I already said, it will increase slightly at the first months of operation. This is related to Mexico and Uzbekistan mainly. And then as the product will develop, then we will increase the volumes. We are also considering to integrate point of sales loans from the Philippines on the platform. Again, not in large amounts at the beginning, but increasing in the future. Are you still listing loans at the moment? If so, on which maturities and which volumes per maturity? We continue to place loans of different maturities on a regular basis several times a week. Loans are distributed randomly, which makes many investors feel short of a loan. In the current conditions, we recommend to expand the portfolio settings by loan maturity, rate range, and creditors to have more investment opportunities. Any comments about cash drag? We are aware of the situation with cash drag, and this is a necessary decision to keep our business balanced. We periodically give updates on the loan volumes in different channels so that investors can adapt their portfolios to the current conditions. How will rates evolve according to maturity? At the moment, we have no plans to change interest rates according to the term of the loans, but we do not exclude the possibility of launching some temporary promotions for a number of loans. Seeing the number of French speakers on the platform, I'm surprised that this language is still not proposed. Any reason? Adding French localization has been in our pipeline for some time. We are looking for various options to organize the translation process for all our communication channels. A mobile app has been discussed a few times, but still not launched. Any news? We see now that there is a need for an app, definitely, but it's not, unfortunately, a priority for us at the moment. First, we would like to finish the design of the website and then move on the task with the app. I think RC does not propose loans from Sri Lanka. When can we expect them to come back? The portfolio of Sri Lanka and the quality of the clients is improving, and at the moment the platform has raised enough funds for the current stage of development of the country. And now it doesn't require additional funding. So far, we can't indicate a specific time frame when the creditor will reappear on the platform. It depends on its further expansion plans. You talk a lot about technical optimization. What exactly do you do now? We optimize the speed of the website, connected new telephony for customer service. We are also gradually processing requests from investors to improve certain features in the personal account. These are mainly some word in the logic of calculations and, in rare case, visual components, as we still want to start more global work on the website redesigning. In your opinion, under current conditions, why should we continue to maintain our funds on Robocash if they are not 100% invested? Very fair question. Since the beginning of this year, we have reduced the supply of loans for a number of reasons, which I already mentioned, and many investors have experienced the consequences of this. We understand that fully, but over the 6 years of its operation, the platform has established itself as a reliable source of income and remains this way despite lower volumes. The buyback guarantee is always honored on time, and the secondary market works smoothly. We have earned the trust of over 30,000 investors. We realize that the P2P market is highly competitive, and every platform is trying to offer the most profitable conditions for investors. Platform users, in turn, are guided by the financial goals and, depending on this, decide to leave or stay. We respect everyone's opinion and will always be happy to help you achieve your goals together. I think that was the last question which we received in advance. And let's see if we have any questions in the chat window. Hello, great news. So a question. Are the activities in Uzbekistan and Kazakhstan related to the Belt and Road project from China? Thank you for the question. The group has been operating in Kazakhstan for several years already, and this country is one of the biggest markets right now. And Uzbekistan is a market with big potential in terms of lending and other financial services. The reason for our expansion in these countries lies in the prospects it has and the opportunities we see there, and not in the connection with China in any way. Uh, Uzbekistan is a large market. It has the largest population in Central Asia, and we see with 20 million people in Kazakhstan, we aim at more than 20 million net profit in this country, which we will earn this year. Then in Uzbekistan, with 90 million population and a very young population, and with changing regulatory and just falling barriers in terms of fintech, we are sure that we can do more. My team tells me that there are no questions so far. Thank you so much for your time and for your attention. I think we can wrap up our meeting. Thank you again for your questions and feedback and for taking time to join us today, and see you in the next webcast. And I hope that I can share more news with you. Have a great day.